Hello, hello, I'm Squallcasting, and this is Starcraft 2. In this match, we do have Nightmare. He has been previously featured in my casts. And his opponent, as my computer skips a frame, is Ironavenger. Which makes me think that this guy likes Iron Man and the Avengers, and he wanted a name that, kind of combine the two, so Ironavenger. Now, Nightmare is in the Diamond League, so, I'm trying to remember what we saw in the last game with him. It was, I can't remember. I cast 3 games yesterday, and they're all blurring together in my head now, so, fortunately, I do not remember. Nightmare does look like he wants to gear up for that Forge Fast Expand. So dropping the pylon there, sending his probe out to scout. Iron Man will not need, just calling him Iron Man apparently. He will be able to scout with his Overlord, so, but it looks like he's sending out a drone anyway. Always a good thing to do. Always want to get as much information as possible. And both workers just kind of headbutting each other for half a second before deciding to just, both sidle to their right side a little bit and let the other pass. Or was it both their left? Yeah, it was both their lefts. Yes, I can actually figure that out in my head somehow. So, Nightmare going to block the hatchery a little bit, and Ironavenger responds just by throwing down a spawning pool. Doesn't want to spend time trying to break that. That can be so very annoying. And Nightmare, yep, Forge is on the way, so not going to be a Nexus first or anything crazily risky like that. Although that said, Ironavenger was going for a hatch first, so he won't really be able to get any attack units out for a little while here. Nightmare is saving up those minerals, chrono boosting out probes. And okay, so he's going to put down the cannon first, just wants to be absolutely safe. And probably could be a good decision, seeing as the spawning pool did just finish. Although, even if he made a flood of lings, by the time it got here, a cannon after a Nexus would probably still be done in time. But anyways, Nightmare wanted to play it safe. I cannot fault him in the slightest for doing that. And yeah, cannon finishes up years before those lings arrive. And I will have perfect coverage to protect the Nexus. I don't think it will shoot, say, like, this far, so if the Zerglings get in around here, they might be able to pick at the probes a tiny bit, but I don't think they'll be able to get too terribly much done. So this pylon is going down, which is very sad for Nightmare, but it did its job. It delayed Ironavenger's expansion and slowed down his economy. And, wait, what? Oh, okay, he took his third before the natural, and now he's going to take the natural too, it looks like. Wow. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that works. I mean, Nightmare is not going to be attacking anytime soon, so that feels fairly reasonable. And 3 hatch before any gas, that's pretty typical these days in ZVP. So, we'll see where things go from here. So Nightmare's second gas is finishing up. Transferring probes in there now. Be able to see what happens. I do like Ironavenger's spread of Zerglings here, and then the one Overlord here. So I'll just that just lets him have an idea of what's going on. Does he have? Yeah, he has both towers as well. So that's fantastic. Gives him just tons of map awareness, so he knows what's going on. And there's the Queen's incredibly long attack range, and by incredibly long I mean a range of 5, which feels incredible compared to 3, which it was in the past. That was an awkward sentence. So Nightmare's expansion has been done for a little while now, just starting to populate with probes. Third is up. There's been a giant drone transfer to the furthest mineral patch. And the second, the natural, which is sort of the third in this game, has also finished. And Queen's there instantaneously to inject it. Queen going to finish up here very shortly. And there's a Queen here too, because you always want 1 Queen per hatchery. Yeah. Now, I don't know what Zergs are doing at this point versus Protoss in terms of queen production. Because I know versus Terran now, they're getting like 5 or 6 queens really early, and then they have insane creep spread, and the queens just completely defend against the Hellion harass that has really been the standard opening for Terrans for the past 4 or 5 months. But now that queens have that additional range, they deflect Hellions very, very well. Now, I don't know if that range buff really means that the Zerg have been altering their playstyle versus Protoss. I don't think they would be, as, you know, the Protoss don't really have a unit that the Queens would be incredibly good against. And the reason Queens are so good against Hellions now is because they match the Hellion range, and the Hellions deal very little damage to the Queens. Whereas before, the reason Hellions were able to beat Queens is because they had 2 additional range and were able to micro away and slowly singe them to death. Now, we do have a Zealot attack coming in here. This Queen's doing some damage, needs to micro it back, pulling all the drones. That feels a little bit overkill, but that said, does he even have any attack in it? He's got 8 Zerglings, and they're spread out around the map. So, wow, he's losing a lot of drones in the process here. Has lost 9 total so far, and might even lose the Queen if he's careless. Oh. Yeah, those Zealots very much paid for themselves in that engagement. 3 Zealots for 9 drones and a Queen. That's a pretty good trade. And just now, all of Ironavenger's Zerglings coming out. Zergling speed going to finish up now. And that was actually a really nicely timed attack from Nightmare. Hit just before Zergling speed finish, and before Ironavenger had any Zerglings at all, really. Looks like he's sending out another group of Zealots. These ones, I would say, are not quite as well advised. Well, yeah, that's a lot of Zerglings. I don't think 5 Zealots will be able to take all of those, especially if the Zerglings get a good surround. Looks like he's going for exactly that. The Zerglings start wrapping around, but Nightmare is controlling decently, pulls back a little bit, forcing the Zerglings to pull back because they don't want to engage with the Zealots with their backs against the cliff. Now, that said, Ironavenger does have some Roaches out now. He's also getting +1 missile attacks and Roach movement speed. And Roachling is very, very good against nothing but Zealots. But Nightmare is getting 2 Robo facilities behind this. This is interesting. And how many gateways does he have total? Well, he has quite a few gateways. I feel like these are just a handful too many production facilities to produce out of efficiently. 2 Robo facilities tells me Immortals. I don't think you'd get 2 if you want to go to Colossi, because you can't double produce 2 Colossi at once off of 2 bases and also have that supporting gateway army that you need. So I'm thinking, look, he just wants to produce Immortals, which would be good, as Ironavenger is just still making Roaches. And Immortals are very good against Roaches, and Zealot Immortal is outrageously powerful against Zergling Roach. But looks like we got an engagement here. Nightmare wants to try to stay in this choke area. He doesn't want to get out in the open here. And looks like he's just going to pull back for the time being. Doesn't want to try engaging into that. He's putting down a forward pylon so he can get his reinforcements to the front lines just a little bit sooner. And yeah, we do have an Immortal coming out. An Ironavenger engaging into a very difficult spot. That was just a horrible choke to try to engage into. Good force fields go down, pin back a lot of units. Gets quite a few kills, but they're swinging around the outside now. Those Roaches do have speed, and oh, now this is a terrible spot for a Nightmare to engage in. All those Roaches can attack, and he does not have the force fields. He has 1 force field, but that's not going to be enough to push back these Roaches and save this army. Losing sentries and Zealots and Stalkers alike. They are all falling before the venomous, acidic, salival wrath of the Roaches. And surging forward, these cannons will buy some time, warping in more Stalkers. Immortals are almost out. 1 Immortal out now, needs to micro that back. You do not want to lose that yet. And it looks like he might pull probes to fight. I feel like he might need to do that. Pylon goes down, depowering those cannons. They no longer can participate. And some Stalkers and Immortals. Probes surge forward to buffer damage. And this Immortal is getting awfully low. Needs to pull it back a little bit. Nope, doesn't. Very unfortunate, but 2 more Immortals have arrived. And those should be able to help clean up a lot of Roaches. But there are more Zerglings streaming in. And Zerglings are pretty good against Roaches. Oh, but Ironavenger going for the Nexus snipe. He's trying to focus on that. Not all of his roaches are focusing on it, though, and he seems to have a little bit of indecision. And that could definitely come back to bite him, as not all of his attacking units were attacking Nightmare's army. But now it looks like he's tunneling in on it, trying to finish it off. Oh, I don't know if it'll finish. It's getting so low, he might get it. Yep, he gets it with 3 roaches left and runs away. And this is a very difficult position for Nightmare, as he is now on 1 base against a 3-base Zerg. More Zerglings come in to try to deal more damage. I don't know if I agree with that decision by Ironavenger, seeing as he just dealt a crippling blow to his opponent. He doesn't need to rush forward and try to kill him right now. He can fall back, defend. What he needs to worry about at this point is the counterattack, because that's what Nightmare's doing. He knows he's way behind and that he needs to inflict a serious blow to his opponent. And Ironavenger is macroing very poorly. He has a 3k bank, a lot of minerals, and he could really flood out a lot more roaches than he is right now. He's starting to produce a few more now. But what he has right now, I don't think it'll quite be enough. He's focus firing those Immortals quite nicely, but Nightmare is starting to kite with them now. And yeah, he's just losing all of his roaches and not breed-producing. Just now starting to make some Zerglings, but losing a lot of units piecemeal. And now this 3rd base is under siege. And I don't know if Ironavenger can reproduce quickly enough. He does have a lot of Zerglings coming out now. Do they have armor? No, they do not. So these Zealots will be 2-shotting Zerglings. That's a significant advantage for Nightmare in this engagement. The Zerglings are trying to do what they can, but they're just dying way too quickly. And Ironavenger just keeps rallying units in to die piecemeal. At this point, he needs to just set up his rally here, build up a significant force, and then push out. And finally, he decides to fall back, let this 3rd die. And Nightmare has retaken his natural and is mining off of it again. So he has definitely equalized and dealt a significant blow to Ironavenger. So well played by him. Honestly, a pretty sloppy defense out of Ironavenger. You never want to be trickling units in to try to defend. I know it can feel very urgent when they're right at your 3rd base, but sometimes you just need to hold back, wait until you get just enough units that you can crush their army, and then go for it. And but Ironavenger is getting some mutas out now, so he will be able to harass these mineral lines. And Nightmare has really no way of defending that. He is getting charged, which is the opposite of what he wants in this case, because right now he wants blink, because there are Mutalisks on the way. Where are they right now? Here they are. See if he catches sight of it. He did not see the mutas, so they're just going to swing straight into the main. He is fighting here. And how many stalkers is he? He has 1 stalker, and that's it. These mutas are going to have free reign. Starting to warp in a bunch of stalkers now. Very nice reaction. And Ironavenger is going to need to pull back, because that's just a few too many mutas. And Nightmare was quite lucky, honestly, that he had a warp gate cycle ready. If he had just warped in units elsewhere, he could have lost quite a few probes. So Nightmare just continuing to produce Immortals, and is getting a Dark Shrine. Oh, fun! Why not? Now, I don't know if Ironavenger saw that. I know he saw it in that he had vision of this, but a Dark Shrine, when it's morphing in, it looks exactly like a pylon. And unless you actually click on it, you don't know that's a Dark Shrine. And Nightmare now, very intelligently, getting blank, has charge. And I don't know about this engagement from Iron Man. I mean, he has a lot of Lings, but that's a lot of Zealots. The Lings, though, getting in on the sentries. The Zealots are trying to hit the Roaches, and the Immortals shooting at the Zealots. So Nightmare's army engaging about as inefficiently as it possibly can, but he still just has enough stuff, and he does have the upgrade lead, so he is able to repel this. And these Mutas look like they wanted to come in and help out, but yeah, Ironavenger once again engaging with not his entire army. You know, I mean, to be fair, you don't want to engage directly with Mutalisks very much, but if your entire ground army is fighting something, you need to get those Mutas in there. They're part of your army, and if there's a ground battle going on, usually the Mutas will not get focused. So, but it looks like he's swinging them around. Looks like he's going to head into the second. Definitely a good decision from him. At this point, he needs to try to keep Nightmare on the defensive and then take and expand while he's harassing and keeping Nightmare pinned. That said, Nightmare's blink is about to finish up, and that will really significantly reduce how much these mutalisks can accomplish. And they're starting to work on the probes, but Nightmare runs all the probes, and Iron Man, with a moment of Iron Man, I keep calling that, in a moment of indecision, flies the mutalisk back and forth without killing any probes. But he is gonna get the Dark Shrine, and GG's. Oh, he lost the third again. Okay. That's understandable. Nightmare doing his trademark victory lap wherein he just murders units that aren't defending themselves. Apparently he enjoys doing this, as we saw him do it in the previous game. But, yeah, well played by Nightmare. I loved the counterattack when he lost his natural to take out the third. I do feel Ironavenger did hand Nightmare that game just a little bit, because, like, look at this bank. You know, and when that attack on his third came, he had 3k in the bank. But I guess he was missing larva injects, or just wasn't macroing very well. this Dark Templar is just getting a whole bunch of free kills. Oh, interesting. Kills that you get after a game ends do not increase your kill count. I didn't know that. Fun little fact for you guys. But all that said, though, Nightmare did do a good job. I did enjoy the composition he was going for with tons of Immortals. Because Ironavenger was just going tons and tons of Roaches. And Immortals are good against Roaches, and they come up faster than Colossi. So, yeah, thank you for submitting the game. Thank you for submitting this game to me, Nightmare. I did enjoy it. Thank all of you for watching my cast. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe, and leave comments, and I will see you guys later.